being open with receiving. And it was not until in my mid-30s that the right information started to trickle through. And what I'm referring to is I had to have some life experience under my belt. And I had to go through the school, personally, I had to go through the school of rough knocks. And then at one point I started to appreciate that, with what I was doing wasn't working out. And the universe in my 30s, they started to trickle in all of the right information. So it began that we are here as a spiritual being, and I'm volunteering on behalf of the soul showing up here. And as a divine being, we're all part of our birthright is all being happy, being joyful, and being fulfilled. And being open with receiving, it's a natural or an inherited gift that all of us have here. I wound up learning that the brain, the subconscious, it operates very much like an AM or an FM radio station. So whatever we put out, we receive. Whatever I think positively, whatever I'm thinking about, it also comes back one's way. Now, the art of receiving, and I'm learning this. I'm learning so much with this. I'm simply sharing from my own experience with it, that at one point what had blocked a lot of it were the programs, were the emotional entanglements, especially the negative ones, and that are either stemming initially either from the family, the culture, childhood type of experiences, and with no blame and with no judgment with this. This is key with this, because when we're volunteering, or I'm volunteering from the spiritual realm into this physical world here, this is a tough school ground. So, and I'd like to add to that from myself here and from many other past lifetimes, there was other past lifetimes where I was in a position of power or in a position of receiving, and either it got abused or it got perversed, or whatever it was, it got off track with it. So when things got off track, it was my responsibility at one point to realign with things and to realign with the energy of it, and saying, thank you very much, I'm now coming back to take back my own power with this, and equally being open with receiving. So when I'm sharing with open with receiving, from my own experience, it was very easy to give and to keep on giving. Now I learned that in my mid-30s and as I continue in my 40s here, that there's universal laws, and these laws are set in place, and they're not human laws, they're universal laws, and so for me, I had to conform to the universal laws and not to the way that it was going to work for me or according to my way of thinking with this, and I really had to drop a lot of my nonsense with this. Being open with receiving required me to drop and release any of the negative programming, any of the old 3D beliefs, any of the obsolete belief systems, and any of the paradigms that, like I said, with no judgment and no blame with this, for whatever I had experienced growing up, because people come from all different backgrounds, cultures, walks of life, and we're all coming from different parts of the world or from this realm, and a lot of it, they all having like a tough background with it. And with my folks coming in, that immigrated from Germany and from Holland after the war, there's an energy to that. And then when I showed up, I had my own energies with it. And it was now in this 5D consciousness, it was a requirement for me to take the ownership and the personal responsibility, and I had to strip away or unplug any of the negative connotations or the programs or the beliefs. And I'd say thank you very much, that at one point it served me, and there was also a lot of ignorance on my behalf. And then at one point I had to start learning or re-educating myself of what does it take with being open with receiving. And a big part of this was the negative frequencies. So if you've referred to the Map of Consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins, anything vibrating from the feelings of love, joy, and peace, this is where I want to start vibrating into the feelings that resonate within the heart. And the heart's like a powerhouse. The heart's like a powerhouse. It's at least, this is from my own experience of it, that can radiate anywhere from 50 to 100,000 times stronger than the mind. So there's three different types of brains with this. We have our gut intuition with this, what's felt in the heart, and then with the conscious or subconscious mind. I'll record a separate video for that. And being open with receiving is to being open with allowing, and being open with receiving all the good. And I'm sharing this because at one point it was like I would say yes to it, and then privately on the inside I would either decline it or self-sabotage it, either consciously or unconsciously. And then at one point I got almost fed up with it, because I'm like, well, I've been doing a lot of work. I'm working on myself and working out and working, and there's laws that, as I started to learn and up level, it became very evident that it's not so much with the working, it's about being smart with it, and it's an energy. It comes back to the energy. And self-love with this was a key component to this. The self-love allows one to receive, and being open with receiving without any strings, without any conditions or any conditioning to it. And I found out that when there's conditions applied to it, or with my own conditions or my own conditioning with the universe, this is where it closed things off. So this is where I had to really surrender and let go of that grip, let go of that control, and being open with receiving with whatever need to show up. So in order for things to show up in my world, there's a law there where I have to keep giving and circulating that energy. And the more that I kept circulating that energy and sending it out, then at one point it would come back around again. And these are laws that I think Bob Proctor, he talks about it extensively. At least for me, it was a good resource. And then at one point now, connecting with the universe and learning this on another level. And I'm simply sharing that it's great with one working, or at one point where I was working a lot, and I thought the harder I worked, the more that I worked, the more I'd be able to receive, and that wasn't the case. It was for me to elevate and up-level my energy with this, and then vibrating into the levels of courage and higher, and ideally into the levels of love, joy, and peace. So, I mean, there's the good day. We all have I have my good days and not so good days, and I say, thank you, universe, thank you for whatever showed up here. And it's for me to be very, very conscientious of it, with setting that intention, with being embodied, with being open, with receiving all the good, and without me negating it with that inside voice. So it's whatever that inside voice that I'm thinking about, this is what the universe hears and responds to. And it also has an energy attached to it. So when I'm vibrating good, when I'm feeling good, this is where it opens up the ability of receiving. And for the days where either I didn't feel so good, or an energy would show up there, and I had to say, okay, thank you for showing up, and then I had to go back on the inside and then release it. So this is all as an inside job. As I'm learning this, I'm simply sharing this, because this has been a very, very profound lesson with this. I've learned that it's nice. It is absolutely great that there's many opportunities here. There's opportunities everywhere to be had. In order for me to capitalize on the opportunities, or to seize the opportunities, I also had to show the universe that I wasn't only interested, but I was committed with it, and really up-leveling my energy. And by up-leveling one's energy with the universe, then being able to say, okay, as I keep moving with this, I feel this, or I'm open with receiving this, and I had to do my part. I had to do my due diligence with taking a lot of actions, and the right actions with it, leaving it with the universe for whatever needs to show up with it, and being open with receiving at the right time when the universe was going to deliver with whatever I was open to receiving with this. And this has been a big takeaway. And it wasn't so much with working myself like many years ago into the ground when those days were done. I said, thank you very, very much. There's smarter ways and there's better ways of doing this. And especially now being in the 5D. And I like to emphasize that it's here for everyone. In order to properly up-level, and this is for myself as well as I'm stating this, for me to up-level being in the 4D and the 5D with this, that the moment when I feel that interference on the inside, I had to surrender with it. I had to let it go energetically, and unplugging those attachments. And the moment I was able to free myself of it, and then vibrating into a higher energy with this is where the magic started to happen with this. So, yeah. So if you like this, if you'd like to or if you got a comment down below, and I will have a couple more videos with this at one point, because there's a lot to learn with this. I'm saying this for me. This affects at one point this had affected my health, my way of thinking, my thoughts, and basically like the quality of my life with us. And the big one is, as showing up as a spiritual being here, is doing the soul a massive favor with closing up all the negative loops of this. So any of the interferences back from childhood, the culture, the religion, and the tough stuff. And once that's cleared out, it opens up like a brand new arena with this. So that's my video for today, and until next time, be kind with yourself, treat each other well. Take care.